presents were expected. You see, my brother Charles has gone and joined the Marines, and he's off to camp and then across to France to fight the Huns. That's him dancing now with Grace Herring. My older sister Dolph says they are practically engaged. Dolph's the one with the bow in her hair, serving punch with Ethel. Now Ethel says no ring's been exchanged, and without a ring it can never be too serious. Ethel might be the oldest, 25, and the smartest. But to tell the truth, it's been more than 2 years since the boy came to calling her alone. My mother calls my brother Vernon to keep from mixing him up with my father, Charles Sr. Now he's the one who fixed the punch, but you won't find a drop of liquor in it. You see, Dad's been temperate since he was a glassblower back east in New Jersey. There wasn't enough money to feed a family of 6 blowing glass bowls and pitchers. So we came here in '06 so he could work in the steel mills, and well, we just never left. My mother Lena's passing out the cookies. She always says that tasting what she makes is her only vice. You could probably take that as a complete and honest truth. This is the biggest party we've ever had, and she's been baking and tasting for days. Social life usually revolves around the Wesley Methodist Church, which isn't all that exciting. But Mother believes anyone can benefit from the Wesley, and that's why she takes everyone, including little Henry Jones and his family, every Sunday, rain or shine. Now, the other fellow dancing over here is Chester Potts. He and Charles joined up together last week, but he had to take the streetcar up all alone that first morning because Charles overslept. Wasn't for the fact that the train is leaving at midnight, he'd probably oversleep again. The fellow over here in the corner doing card tricks, that's Ralph Bowers, certainly the wildest boy here. But you can see that Helen Scott seems to find him amusing. And the sweetest one, well, that'd be Roy Hardtop. He's over here playing checkers with little Henry Jones.
Your turn, Henry. Good move.
Roy teaches manual training, and he loves dogs and cats and, well, just all creatures, great and small.
Oh.
Well. No, I guess even the best Methodist would have allowed at least one kiss on a warm and beautiful April night. Oh, I almost forgot. The girl with the braids was watching that kiss. It's me, Helen Brown. Tonight, I'm a full 15 3/4.
A toast for the brave and handsome young Charles Vernon Brown.
He's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow, he's a jolly good fellow.
Who's gonna be the best darn Marine in old Massillon town? You're damn right.
Excuse my French language, ladies.
And now you see why Mr. Ralph Bowers is not going to be a Marine.
Not yet, Patsy, but you keep looking over your shoulder.
Last one till we're all home again.
Time for bed now, Henry. I promised to write.
Oh, I'll be back before you know it.
Yeah, this is good after this boy. He owes me $10.
I promised the Kaiser's ears to you.
Forget the ears. Sing some of those French girls.
Train's coming, Chaz. Just a minute more. Helen, do your studies or you'll have me to answer. Bye.
Don't forget to write.
Bye. Thanks for everything.
We'll be looking for your letters, son.
You might need this. Oh. Good luck, son. Bye.
Bye.
26, 1918. Dear Mother and all, arrived in Atlanta, Georgia safely after some ride on the train all night. Leave tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Your son, C.V. Brown.
April 27th. Ready to leave again. This B&O is not so bad, but not like home at all.
April 28th. I'm settled in now, so here's the cook's tour of Paris Island. This is the boat that brought us over from Port Royal, and here's the dock we landed on. Right here.
This is the center of our camp, or what you might call our square. And this is the East Wing.
Well, I live on the West Wing. You see, that's the new side. We have two YMCA's here, but they both look just the same. Our mess hall is over there on the right, and our bunkhouses are down here on the left. This is the place we went to after leaving the applicants' camp, and I've marked our company street with a big X. Now, the shanties you see in the picture are gone now, and that other long building down there, well, that's the main barracks hospital.
Dear Vernon, we're so glad you arrived safely. It seems so long since you've left already. Ethel has started to work at the Brewster office doing clerical.
She gets a pass so she can go back and forth whenever she wants.
And though we don't know just exactly what her monthly salary will be,
Dad says it won't be under $65.
And it may be $71.50.
we all hope the latter. Ethel says the work isn't so hard, and though she still hasn't given up the idea of teaching art again next year, she seems happy to be so close to home this year.
This shows some fellows shooting from the
Prone position.
prone position, and those other fellows sitting on the stools are the coaches.
Let me see that postcard, Helen.
There's only one more line left anyway, Joe.
Each man shooting has his own coach, and you'd be surprised how much this helps a fellow.
Here we've got to learn as much as we can, as fast as we can. For if we want to give those Huns the devil and march them back to Germany where they belong, well, then we've got to be better than good. And I tell you, I see a Hun's face on each little bullseye I hit.
Shirley Smith has left the Central Steel and is down at the Brewster in the drafting department. She's been giving Ethel a ride to work every day now, and it sure makes life easier on us all.
Well, Mother, today I'm sending home my suitcase, April 30th. I'm a Marine now. I'm feeling just fine.
Sometimes I think I should learn to drive. But honestly, Vernon, with no car here and Dad so busy, well, son, I think I'll just wait for you to teach me yourself.
My friends all love your postcards. Will you send some more?
I received your letter this morning, Charles, and what do you suppose? You had my address as 402 Duncan. I guess in all your hurry you didn't notice. Did look funny though, for the post office has written no such number across the envelope. I guess I shouldn't worry, because it's here now, in my hands.
So my dope wants a pen too. Sorry I haven't written more, but we just moved over to the main training camp and we've been busy unpacking and drilling. We drill all the time now, except when it rains. Well, it's raining right now, so we got a chance to come inside and get dry. You wouldn't believe, it's so hot and wet here, even when there's no rain at all. We get better eats now and don't live in tents anymore. We live in bunkhouses, have electric lights and other things that make it more like home. Well, almost like home. Well, the rain has stopped, so I better be getting to my wash. Tell everyone back home I'm feeling just fine. Hope y'all write soon. P.S. That box of candy you sent just touched the spot. You can send more of it any time you wish.
Here's hoping you wish too often.
By the way, though, there's this fellow from New York who wanted your address. He's one of my bunkies and a real fine chap. So what do you think?
I think, Bryce, yes, you may give him my address.
As a token from me, I ask you to wear
this small service emblem. Please guard it with care.
It will remind you and others that I am away.
Just doing my bit.
For the old USA!
Your brother, C.B. Brown.
100%, and it's all okay except for the watch, which is now broken. I'm sorry to say I wore it out to the shooting range this afternoon. I guess the jar of the gun was just a little too much, and it broke the face right open. I didn't mean to wear it, honest. I'm sorry, I just forgot to take it off. I was hoping Dad could find a way to fix it up, and maybe when it's all ready, you could send it to wherever I'm sent. So, what do you think?
Well, it's broken all right. Let me get my tools.
By the way, I didn't try to get to be an officer. Just trying to be the best darn Marine I can.
What's he say?
Well, he's shooting for the record. He says he's already made 124 points out of 150 on the 2 hardest ranges. But he still needs another 129 points to make expert.
That's the highest.
How do you know that?
Ralph Bowers told me.
Ralph Bowers doesn't know a thing about being an expert anything.
We're done already. I missed expert by 4 points. It's tough luck, all right. But Potsy missed it by 8. Oh, sorry I haven't been able to finish this letter till just now. We have this new sergeant who thought he'd give us all a little extra drilling practice before going up to the range. And then a little more when we got done. I tell you, I'm pretty tired, all right. But I think I did just fine.
Oh, Chaps, I sure hope you're still on Paris Island when you received my letter. I've just been carrying it around for days.
Enclosed, find a couple of new pictures of me and my friends. I won't be writing for a while since we're shoving off this island tomorrow and moving up to Quantico. That's in Virginia. Oh, and Chet Potts is going along too.
Oh, Charles! Remember those pictures I promised? Well, here they are. Don took them. Don's drink from Canton. You remember him, don't you? One of the football 11 from 2 years ago. Well, anyway, I received your letters, and I like them a lot. And even though I know you're doing something awfully wonderful, I don't think I should ever like to be a soldier. But I won't ever have to worry about that. Though I was surprised to read how often they make you clean. Do you really have those inspections every single day? You know, come to think of it, Charles, none of these pictures are really good of me either.
Well, it's June 18th. We finally landed at a real camp.
I did really well with all my exams this year. Passed every single one of them with flying colors.
I know it sounds too good to be true, but this place seems like heaven. Here we're done work by 5 o'clock, then there's nothing to do but sit around and wash a few clothes. On Saturdays, we get done by noon, and then we're at liberty till Monday morning.
You know, Charles, if you can wait just a little bit longer, I can get you something better than any of these.
I think maybe I'll get a little trip to Washington, D.C. next Saturday. And if I can make good connections, I might get all the way to Philadelphia. I have to hit the hay now. We rode that train straight through from Monday midnight till 2 p.m. today. With no place to sleep except our seats.
Come to think of it, the best picture was taken of me yesterday. So as soon as I get another good one, I promise to send it right along.
I ate 5 sandwiches and drank 2 cups of coffee during the whole trip. Wasn't I hungry when we got here? Oh, but believe me when I tell you, we've got some fine grub here. Really, it's just like home. And we don't get drilled to death now. Not by a long shot. We have this fine new sergeant as we left that other cursed one back at Paris Island.
Can you believe, Charles? Next year, I'll be a full-fledged freshie.
According to our sergeant, it won't be long till we're all overseas.
Gee, won't I swell up then?
I sure hope so. We've waited long enough.
But enough of me. Now I want that picture of you in your uniform just as soon as you get one taken.
I don't see any of the other boys from Massillon now. Then there's no time to look them up anyway. They're in 21-day quarantine, and we're at work learning signals, skirmish, bayonet, trench, and gas mask drills.
Son, we're so glad to hear that you're finally settled into a place that's so comfortable.
Is the food really good?
You're brother doesn't lie.
By the way, Mom, my pay's been increased $3 a month for making sharpshooter.
Why do they shoot straw targets if they want to learn to shoot German soldiers?
Go ask your father. Dove's gone off to Brady Lake, and with Ethel working, our Helen has taken a great interest in your soldiering.
The next time I write, I promise to use better ink, since I'm sure you'll have to put on your glasses just to read this. But you know, it's all that I could get since I just haven't been out of the house in days. I was sick in bed Monday, stayed there till Tuesday, and part of Wednesday too. And to tell you the truth, Charles, I still don't feel like my old self yet.
This afternoon, 21st of June, they took us on a 6-mile march. It rained nearly the whole time we marched. Oh, and we got pretty well soaked, all right. Soaked right down to the bone. We marched fully equipped, rifle, gas mask, and a heavy marching order, which weighs nearly 50 pounds or more. I tell you, it was great. And that's some load on your shoulders if you're not used to it. But I guess, like it or not, we'll have to get used to it.
So, I promise to write a lot more next time. And Charles, I'll be looking for those pictures in every single mail. I almost forgot. Ralph told me to tell you. Yes, he'll be writing you soon. And no, he has not enlisted yet. Regards, Helen Snow.
Well, folks, I made squad leader and I'm working hard to make corporal. Yesterday afternoon, Secretary of the Navy Daniels spoke to us at the overseas battle. And he said we Marines are the best trained fighting men in the world. Believe me, we're going over to prove it, and let's hope it's soon.
We're so proud of you, son. A squad leader already. Weren't you excited to get to hear the Secretary of the Navy himself?
If he says you're the best, then you must be, don't you think?
Surely they'll give you one pass home before you go over.
Mom! I got a pass to Washington, D.C.!
Dear brother, I've been thinking every day I'd get to write, and here it is, over a week, and I'm just now getting round to it.
This is some city, all right. And some monument, too. Did you know the Washington Monument is 508 feet from top to bottom? I don't think I've ever been up so high. You can look straight out these little windows, see for miles around.
Tomorrow night we're having a picnic across the lake. Some boys who live next door are going to take us across in their canoes. There are 11 girls in our cottage, including our chaperone, Miss Sarah Gibson. We're up to the college by 7 o'clock in the morning, have our music and lessons done by noon. Then the man who drives the bus comes back after us, takes us to the lake when we are through. I guess it's really sort of fun if you want to be a music teacher. You have such a good voice. Maybe you could teach music too.
So we walk clear to the top and back down again, twice. And there's this little Massillon paper, the Massillon telegram, or telegraph, or whatever, but they put it in the cornerstone of the monument when they built it. Some city, all right. Some time and some city.
Marjorie Mader had her tonsils and her adenoids removed too. Marjorie's getting along just fine. But now Helen Saylor's thinking of having her tonsils taken out too.
Got back from camp about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Had to come back with all my money gave out. That Washington certainly is some city. Did I tell you we saw the White House too? Gee, it's pretty. Nothing like that in Massillon.
Marty Waters and Helen Urban were married last week. A very quiet little ceremony.
I think we'll be leaving for overseas next Wednesday or Thursday.
He already has a very good job promised to him in Cleveland.
But don't worry about me because we'll be getting a lot more training before we go into those trenches.
A cousin of Marty's is a foreman in one of those big factories.
It seems I won't be getting into that radio work after all. I just don't have the electrical experience. And I never did study trigonometry, even though you both said I should.
He's willing to give him 70 cents an hour and 2 rooms in his home for free.
Some of the fellows made it all the way to New York City on their pass. Oh well, maybe when I get back.
I made you some more candy, Russ, but you know what?
I don't ever think I'll see that box of candy you sent to Paris Island, though.
I forgot to mail it. I hope you're not too mad, but I was just so busy.
Well, I'm sure some other soldier with a sweet tooth will relish it as much as I would have. But please, don't send any more till I get overseas.
You should have seen all the stuff in my trunk. It took Dad and me 2 trips to move it all. Helen was more trouble than help, as usual. But she's getting so grown up, Russ.
Did you ever get those pictures I sent you? I hope so, but I expect to send some even better ones this week.
Did I tell you? We're getting the whole house wired for electricity. It's true. Dad told me just before I left. They're supposed to do it all next week. So you've got to get to come home to see it.
We're getting some fine bread now, especially the bread. I suppose it's better than you folks can get back home. Pure wheat bread. Smells great.
We've been having very cold weather up here, and I can tell you, it was hard keeping warm on that lake. But I guess we've been having some fun all right. Though sometimes I wish I hadn't come up here. With you gone and everything so different.
Sure must be nice at home with all those electric lights on.
If I have the pep, I'll make you another box of candy. Promise. And mail it before I leave.
Vernon, do you think you'll be getting home before you go?
I still don't know if you ever got that watch I sent you. But anyways, I'm sending you some bullets like we use in our rifle. The 5 larger shells go in the rifle at the same time, and that smaller one's a misfire out of a revolver. I also sent Helen this piece of music, which is the Marines hymn, and I was hoping she'd get a chance to play it. And if Grace Herring's not too busy, she might get to sing along.
If you get leave while I'm up here, Bruz.
I don't see any way I can get home right now.
I promise, I'll come right back home.
Just today they posted a notice saying no furloughs, except in case of serious sickness or death. I hope we have neither of those.
You just can't leave without seeing our new electric lights.
It sure must be nice at home now. Hot, too. Well, it's nice here, too. And cool. I haven't sweat a drop since I left Paris Island. Anyway, Mom, I'm dead broke, so I'm sending you a telegram, as I wanted to get some souvenirs before we left, and I don't think we'll get paid for a while.
A Thackwell boy and Chubby Jones have joined the Aviation Corps, and both Mrs. Manley's boys are on Paris Island. I think Dwayne Elliott is going for officer, but I only hear bits and pieces when we get together at church.
Do the soldiers get to go to church too?
They have chaplains.
Is he a Methodist?
Sometimes.
I received the money you sent this evening, and I want to thank you both very much. I hope the telegram didn't scare you any. It's just that we have our overseas clothes now, and we could show off any moment. I didn't want to take a chance the money would get delayed in the mail. I hope you understand.
It didn't scare us exactly. And yes, of course, we understand. It's just that your father and I wish you'd found some other way for us to receive our first telegram.
Well, I'm sending Father a real service flag to put in the window. Tell Helen I'll get to answer her letter a little later.
Charles, I don't know whether you received that letter I sent to Paris Island yet or not. I really hate this mail. Oh, and tough luck about not getting that cigarette case Rob sent since this war started. You can't count on the mail at all. You can only send something overseas to the expeditionary forces when someone requests it. So I thought that you could write and ask me for the cigarette case in your letter, then I could send it in my answer. How's that for clever?
You must be getting so tired, son. Waiting all this time and never knowing just exactly when you'll go.
Is Helen really getting to work on her
I
studies?
know you'd come home if you could.
Maybe if Helen worked really hard this summer, she'd be ready to get really serious about school next fall. I know it's easy for me to say, sitting so far away from you and all, but honestly, you should see the way she writes those letters.
Personally, I don't know why they have to have such complicated rules. I'll never understand this war or the mail.
The house is looking so lovely. And your father's been thinking of planting some vegetables this summer.
Will you be going straight to France?
Whatever you do, please don't worry about me.
Both just love that pennant.
And I've already learned the hymn by heart.
It'll be 3 or 4 months before I'm in any danger at all. And then we are the best trained fighting men in the world.
Oh, your father has already put the flag up in our window.
It looks real nice, too.
And everyone smiles when they see it.
Latest report is that we'll definitely leave tomorrow, or Saturday for sure. We'll turn in our khakis tomorrow, and that means we'll be wearing winter underwear and heavy green suits or oversea clothes. They can't keep us long in those.
There were 8 children baptized last week in church. What a sight.
And what sounds.
By the way, did you know I was at church for $10,000? It costs only $6.75 a month, and every soldier's supposed to get it unless they have a good written excuse. Well, I haven't gotten the papers yet, but I'll send them as soon as they come.
I wonder if you're already on your way. Sometimes I think we'll never catch up with your letters.
You could send that watch if you got it already. Now, a good plan would be to send it and have it insured or special delivery. Then they'd be more sure about seeing that I got it all right.
Helen's gone to Wellsville with Johnson's in their auto. They have a daughter about her age, so I suppose she'll have a good time. It sure seems quiet around here when she's gone too.
Got a letter from Aunt Phoebe. She said I was the only one of her 4 nephews that ever wrote to her. She said she'd be glad to come to Philadelphia to see the train off, but to be real honest, you can't know anything that far in advance.
Edna Johnson was over for a visit. She's expecting a new baby to come to her house in November.
You tell Grace's father I'll bring home the Kaiser for him to display in his show window. And that's no joke.
The flag looks quite wonderful in the window. Did I write you that before? And no, we didn't know about them giving you any insurance.
P.S. I'm sending a little service pin for Father to wear. Hope you've liked yours too.
I don't know whether you received that letter that I mailed to Quantico yet or not. So if you did get it already, you can just skip the parts that I said twice.
We're really moving now for sure. We turned in our overseas bags of clothes, and we're heading out tomorrow sometime. Just where to, I really couldn't say. Oh, Mom, I finally got myself a good picture of myself and Company B. Well, they were taken yesterday, but we got to see them today. Well, that's my lieutenant in the middle of the short front row seated, with the corporal and the sergeant on either side. I'm the 11th one from the left in the front long row seated. Now, these are taken in our khaki uniforms. We won't get the ones in our green uniforms till later. See, well, they were taken by this Washington photographer, and we won't know how they will turn out. But I've had a dozen of them sent to you at $1.50 apiece, COD from Washington. Hey, if they're any good, please send one to Aunt Emma and Aunt Phoebe and each of the following names, including Grace Herring.
Thanks so much for the pin you sent. I'm just wild about it. In fact, I haven't taken it off a minute since it arrived.
My new address will be Private C.V. Brown, Company B, 2nd Casual Battalion, U.S. Marine Corps, American Expeditionary Force, care of Postmaster, New York City.
The ship on which I sailed has arrived safely overseas.
Oh, God.
Charles V. Brown.
By this time, son, you know what a trip across the ocean means, which is more, I imagine, than your father and I will ever know. Did you stand it all right, son?
Or did you get seasick? We hear everyone gets seasick.
We waited all week, hoping to get some word that you had crossed safely.
Then the card and the letter you wrote both came on the same day.
The pictures arrived of you in your uniform.
And they're very good.
You had a real serious look on your face.
I'm so glad you had them taken. Look as if you were in fine condition. And I'm so glad to see you looking so well.
Dear unknown Charles, I take great pleasure in writing you this little note. I suppose you will not even know who I am since I took your name and address off the window in the train. You see, I was one of those 3 girls standing on the platform as it passed through Philadelphia. More specifically, I am the one who was wearing that very large hat. Remember now? No doubt you'll be glad to receive this short letter from me, especially since by now you're so far away from America. I personally have never been farther than Maryland. I had a pleasant trip myself down the Chesapeake Bay just last weekend. Actually, I'm not quite rested up yet as the sea air makes me so sleepy. Is that the way it is for you, too? I personally arrived home safe and tired out Sunday evening. I must bring this letter to a close now since I simply don't know what else to say. I would like very much to hear from you real soon. I'd also be very pleased to have a picture of yourself. Until the next time, hoping this finds you enjoying the best of health, wishing you lots of luck and success for the future. Your unknown friend.
Marie Haas. Ethel is mounting all the pictures now to give out to your friends.
Dad really liked his pen, and he reads every one of your letters twice.
We're all so glad you're safely overseas. Please write us all you feel you dare, as we would be glad to hear of your life over there.
Your letter finally came, and I was so glad to hear you'd arrived safely. Did you ask your mother to send that picture to me? Gee, that was nice of you. I'm still waiting for the one of you in your company, and I'm sure with all those directions I'll be able to find you. Won't it be exciting having your mail censored? You don't think they'll open my letters, too?
Thank goodness for the YMCA. It's Sunday evening, and we just finished chow and are heading up to the YMCA.
We had some real excitement here last night. They had a parade to celebrate the winding of the War Savings Campaign, and the main feature was burying the Kaiser in the canal. The devil came right up and got him. It was real exciting. If only it were true.
Mrs. Breckle received word from Charlie in England.
They were 14 days going over.
And every soldier got seasick.
At least that's what Mrs. Breckle said.
Well, I think I'm going to go to Chicago, but I haven't decided what I should do when I get there. Any suggestions?
Your company picture finally arrived yesterday.
Which is very good.
The girls picked you out right away.
Are those boys with the other kind of badges the expert shooters?
You can see the badges very plain in the picture. They're a mighty fine-looking bunch, too. I suppose you being among them makes them look so good to me.
I spent my birthday today having a big field inspection in the morning, and then fishing in the river all afternoon. I hope I have better luck catching Germans than I did catching fish.
Well, I think the Chicago trip is off now. I sure hope not. It's as dead as ever heard, and I wanted so much to go, even riding that old Ford. Evelyn and I looked high and low for Dad's keys, but he's probably hidden them again. I think I'll ask him anyway when I get home. I'm just crazy about driving.
Saturday afternoons and Sundays are supposed to be rest periods over here. We don't get much rest now, as we're always trying to get ready to get the Bosch.
Mrs. Manley received word from her youngest. They had separated the boys at Paris Island, took all the smaller fellows, and were going to send them down to Cuba for coast duty and let the boys down there go overseas.
Listen, I see by the papers the big drive was started.
Oh, wonderful.
Weigarts have bought the gross property.
I guess that means we'll have them for neighbors for all time.
And even though they've lived here for years, I still send Helen over with an apple pie. Go along.
I hate their little dog. Doesn't seem real at all.
Aren't the Americans really showing up the Bosch just now? Makes a fellow feel really proud.
It's been almost 3 weeks to the day since your last note.
Each time I think of you, son, which are many times, I breathe a short prayer that God will keep you from evil and from harm.
So how goes it now? You still like it there? Wasn't it just dandy that Chet Potts got to go along with you? Don't you consider yourself lucky having your best friend right there beside you? So at least you'll never be homesick.
Little Henry Jones went off to visit his grandma this week. Oh, and guess who came to visit yesterday? Martha May.
You're not homesick, are you? I sure hope not, since I had a taste of it myself when I went to Chicago last summer, and it was anything but wonderful. Speaking of Chicago, the trip's on again. That's right, we were supposed to leave Monday morning, but it's been raining. I suppose this will settle that terrible dust we've been having. If it hadn't rained, and if it had stayed as hot as it's been, well, I'll tell you, it would not have been a pleasure trip. But it's definitely cooler now, thank goodness. Definitely. So what's the weather like over there? From everything I hear, it's very nice this time of year.
She sure is some talker.
I know it was foolish of me to have been homesick in Chicago. I guess it's just my nature.
We've just about given away all your pictures. I mailed one off to you. I hope you like it.
Yes, Charles, I did receive that picture. You should see the nice frame your sister Ethel made. Of course, I found your face right off.
Poor Ethel. Can't seem to make up her mind what she wants to do next year. Mr. York said he was coming up to see her, but we still don't know whether he wants her to teach art again next year or not.
You can't imagine how busy I've been. Getting ready for our trip, knitting for the Red Cross, and trying to practice my singing in this heat. I haven't missed a lesson yet.
But whether she likes it or not, Ethel will have to decide soon.
Ambitious, huh? I try to do as much as I can since it makes a person feel so guilty if they haven't done their share.
Murray Spidle is flying in France now.
They say he's a real daredevil.
Whatever that means.
Oh, he's a very nice boy.
They don't take boys in the army.
He's not in the army.
He actually joined up with the French flying forces.
It's called the Lafayette Esquadrille.
I heard they fly over 100 miles an hour.
Who said?
Ralph.
Ralph Bowers.
Weldon Johnson's car is fast enough for me, thank you.
Riding in a car can be very dangerous.
Only if Ralph is driving.
Anyway, son, they had 4 of his letters to his mother in the Independent Saturday.
If you want, we could send in one of yours too.
Oh, he doesn't write them for the whole town to read.
I said if he wants.
Oh.
A bunch of Marines have been up the lines already. They've been gassed and wounded and are resting up just now. Tell them to put them back in line just as soon as they can.
When you think of all that the boys have given up already, giving up their home and their schools and their families and their jobs, well, I certainly feel foolish saying this to you, Charles. So I'm trying to do my part, even if it isn't much. I have been struggling over a pair of leg warmers.
You certainly have some thrilling stories to tell. Not like anything you've ever heard before.
I suppose you'll want to know all the town news and gossip. This is such an exciting town. Well, Howard de Hoff married Marguerite Graff, and Howard Yost was appointed a major. Don't you think he's climbing a bit too fast?
Dear folks, finally received your letters at last. And would you believe it? They all arrived at once. That's right, today, July 16th, my first mail since coming to France. But I think I'll be getting your letters a little bit quicker now, since I just finished giving my banker a little lecture on the preciousness of a soldier's mail.
I suppose by now, Charles, you're speaking like a regular Frenchman. Sometime, I'm going to write you a whole bunch of stuff in French and then see if you can answer it.
It's been quite a week here. Actually, a lot quieter than most. 4 triplanes attacked my plane the other night. Shot it up so bad, I had to get a new one. You know, that's the 3rd since I got here. Yeah, although it may not seem like these planes last very long, they're great little machines and a pilot's best friend.
I see by the papers the Huns are sure getting theirs. Everyone seems to have some idea when this war is going to end. What's yours?
Yeah, sometimes it seems like this old wooden canvas has a mind of its own. Why, in the days when the bullets are flying fast past my head, it's the very will of this little machine to survive that keeps me in the air. Why, I remember when you had heart failure, if I did 25 miles per hour on the level. I did 135 the other night trying to catch a Hun. But he got up into a cloud and I lost him. Yeah, these buses drive like a stone, gaining speed all the while. Well, they'd do more, all right. But 4 miles per minute is enough for this old boy.
I promise to start my diary tomorrow. I'll write every little thing that happens, and I won't forget a thing. And I'll mail it as soon as I get to Chicago.
We've been doing a lot of flying lately with little results, as most of the Huns are in a push in another sector. But when they come back, we'll raise Cain. Or maybe they will. Oh, we did some night flying last night as 3 of us went up to try to catch those Gothas that raided England. But we missed connections, and I can't say I'm too unhappy. It's really not that much fun to attack a machine with as many guns and pilots as a Gotha. But from all indications, my life is pretty safe now. For if a guy survives the first month at the front, he gets by, since 95% are killed by then. Yeah, I've been over the lines for 5 weeks now, and I'm still knocking on wood. Oh, I got a new bus to replace that old one they shot up. It's a great little machine, and I'd love to tell you its speed, but I really can't say. But I can tell you it'll climb 1,000 feet in 25 seconds, so you can see that it's a good one.
You know, Charles, sometimes with me in Ohio and you in France, well, sometimes it seems as if I'm riding to air.
Coming home today, I saw this big, beautiful French balloon all puffed up and blown out, just floating in the sky. But when I went over to have a peep at her, I was met by a whole barrage of shrapnel. Guess their friend is going to get all tangled up in the telephone wires or something, but heck of a way to come down, though, huh? Just watching the scenery.
But Bryce is home on a 10-day furlough. Lucky guy, huh? Hoping you're not the least bit homesick.
Seems like everybody on this side of the Atlantic's a little bit peeved over those darn censorship rules, since Huns seem to know everything you're going to do before it happens anyway. Got all kinds of friends over here, but because of those censorship rules, I can't find a single one. Oh, because I was the last to join the squadron, I won't get my leave for another 2 months. You see, each of the guys gets 2 weeks off and can go anywhere from England to Italy. I don't care a rat for those 2 weeks if I can't come back home.
Au revoir, Charles. And P.S. Just why do they black out so much in your letters?
I'm sorry to say, your wristwatch came back this week. It's never been farther than New York. But your father did fix it up, and it seems to be running all right. I'll try mailing it to you again soon.
Ralph Bowers wrote. Said he stopped by the house to talk to Dove. He's not taking Dove out, is he? Chester says hello. We're both just fine.
Now, Vernon, if you are in the trenches, or have been, I surely ought to be able to stand knowing it. Don't be afraid to tell us all you dare. I would rather know it from you than from others. I'm enclosing $1 in this letter for some sweets. Tell me when you write if you have gotten all those dollars I've sent before.
I suppose there are plenty of Massillon fellows getting into the service just now. But I don't see anyone I know over here. There's sure a lot I can tell those boys now before they come over. There's sure a lot I can tell them now before they leave.
The American boys are surely fighting hard, and we're all so proud of them.
I never see anyone I know over here. But even if I did, there's no real time to talk anymore. Not like last summer after graduation. No, not like last summer at all.
Bill Alden's been drinking, and Joe told him if he ever smells liquor on him again, he'll discharge him.
In that private C.B. Brown? detached for service with the Army by order of the President, did in France at approximately 0600 hours on the 22nd day of July, 1918, having received a lawful order from Sergeant Adolph C. Paul to take his rightful place at the end of the mess line, willfully disobeyed the same.
I will have to close now with lots of love. And thank Papa for getting that watch up and running. You can send it to me whenever you like.
When ordered by Sergeant Paul to take his rightful place at the end of the mess line, Private Brown behaved in an insubordinate and disrespectful manner by answering,
"Who gave you permission to give me orders?"
or words to that effect.
Answer soon.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
Son!
Charge 2.
Not guilty.
How do you plead?
Hey, Bros!
Charge 3.
Guilty.
Court rules in charges 1, 2, and 3.
This can't be happening.
Guilty.
Chaz!
Guilty.
Chaz!
Guilty.
Vernon!
Court hereby orders that Charles Bernard Brown will have 1/2 of his pay forfeited for a period of 3 months.
We fly 4 or 5 hours twice a day, every day. Sure, the first time is only to escort a bombing squadron, but the second time we go way across Hun lines. When we set out across Hun land, they start banging away with their Archie. Rat-a-tat-tat! Rat-a-tat-tat! That's anti-aircraft gun. As long as we're getting marched, we don't mind so much. I know that sounds funny, but it's the quiet. When everything suddenly stops, it can drive you crazy. Then a fellow spends an agonizing 2 seconds, which seems like an eternity in these gas kites, trying to figure out where the Huns are and when one's gonna hop on you next. Why, just the other day, I got into my formation, I was watching this artillery duel, when all of a sudden I saw this hail of bullets coming right at me. So then I realized I had accidentally crossed over to no man's land. It's one place you never want to be. Oh sure, I didn't scamper back fast enough though, but you never want to get caught over there too long. No, there's no room for accidents in no man's land.
Just before Mrs. Spidle
Received her second letter.
A telegram arrived saying,
Lieutenant Murray K. Spidle has been missing in action since July 25th.
It was his 21st birthday.
I guess we're getting the best of the Germans right now. By the looks of things, I'll soon be getting my own chance at the Bosch. General Pershing has said this war will soon be over, and we'll all be eating our Christmas dinner back in the good old USA. I and many others agree with the General, and we're going to help make his statement come true. With lots of love, your son.
Chaz! Did you hear about Murray? They say he's dead.